Hello everyone! Kazuha has just released, so we're going to take a look at what artifact sets are going to be the best on Kazuha. These are the things that we need to be aware of for Kazuha for this analysis. Level 80 before Ascended Kazuha. The reason it's before is because I do not have the data for level 80 Ascended Kazuha when this came out, and for some reason the demo always uses a before Ascended character for the demo. Level 8 talents and EM will be going up as he levels. Hilichurl resistances are included in the damage. Based on his kit, I feel like he'll be a sub DPS, so we'll only be looking at his plunge, specifically Midare Ranzan and Chiaya Buru press and hold, and Kazuha slash. As we're looking at his skills, the passive Soulman's Swordsmanship damage will be added on his Midare Ranzan. We'll only be comparing 2-piece Glad and 2-piece Viri and 4-piece Viridescent, with a comparison of Atk Sands and EM Sands. Goblet is a Nemo, and Circlet is crit damage. Substats that are boosted are prioritized to reach 75% crit rate, and then optimized theoretically on what will give the best overall damage based on crit damage, attack percent, and EM. The 3 damage we will be looking at are Chiaya Buru's press, hold, and Kazuha slash burst. As we're looking at each of these 3 damages, it will be separated on with swirl damage and without swirl damage. The one with the swirl will also be including the additional elemental damage for Kazuha slash. Finally, the weapon we will be using is Black Sword, due to the crit rate substat. We'll do a weapon analysis another time. Now, if you're double checking on my swirl damage, be aware that I'm using this formula from Kashin mains for more exact numbers. Due to the recent patch changing the EM formula for swirl, I've been getting incorrect values using equation from other sources except for Kashin mains, as it gave me the closest estimate to the damage numbers given for swirls. With that said, let's get started. First is taking a look at how much the swirl boosts your damage by. We'll start off with 2-piece Gladiator and 2-piece Viridescent, and you can see from here that Swirl gives a significant boost in your overall damage. It's not as apparent in the skill's press, but the difference is significant in the burst. The reason is that you have 6 opportunities to swirl during the burst, which is the Kazuha slash burst, and then the 5 Anima shockwaves from Autumn Wind to heavily boost your damage. Now you might be wondering if you should be boosting your EM or your attack percent. If we do a comparison of the 2 different sands, we can see that we actually lose out on a lot of damage for the burst. Recall that we have optimized our kit to maximize based on golden ratio. So it is important for you to remember that swirls cannot crit. So you want to be focusing on increasing your Kazuha's damage based on his skills and burst rather than his swirl damage. Based on that logic, would it even be worth doing 4-piece Viridescent? And looking at this, we can see that 2-piece Gladiator and 2-piece Viridescent is actually slightly stronger than 4-piece Viridescent. Seems strange, because the swirl damage is increased by 60%, and yet my overall damage is weaker. So does this mean you shouldn't do 4-piece Viridescent? Not quite. I actually still think 4-piece Viridescent Venerer is actually much better than 2-piece Gladiator and 2-piece Viridescent. This is because of the swirl 40% elemental debuff. Recall that Kazuha is a sub DPS in this kit, meaning that whatever element is being swirled will have a big boost in their overall damage for your other characters. Even if he's doing slightly less damage in 4-piece, the debuff he gives to the enemy is pretty significant that 4-piece would be much better than 2-piece. Now remember, this video is just a theoretical guideline based on calculations, so your in-game results can vary. Hence, if we were to summarize our findings, attack percent Sands is better in providing overall damage than EM Sands, and 4-piece Viridescent is better than 2-piece Gladiator and Viri due to the debuff it provides. I hope this video was helpful for all of you. Leave a like if it did, and I will see you all in the next video.